Shiro here for Ember Games with a review of Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE, exclusively on Wii U. Tokyo Mirage Sessions is another Shin Megami Tensei collaboration game, this time a crossover with Nintendo's Fire Emblem series. Now, I remember when we first heard about this game coming a couple years ago, the last thing I think I would have expected with a Fire Emblem crossover is a 60-hour turn-based JRPG about Japanese pop singers and TV stars. These Japanese idols stop monsters called Mirages from stealing people's talent essence, known as Performa, while the only way to make your party members stronger is by helping them through their performances in various fields on their path to superstardom. Yeah, I realize how that all sounds, and you're probably asking by this point, like I was, where's the Fire Emblem come in? Well, as these Mirages steal Performa en masse, they open portals into realms called the Idolosphere, a new one every chapter. And you take the main character Itsuki and his party members, all part of Fortuna Entertainment, and liberate the depressed crowds. Each party member has their own Mirage, all of which are from previous Fire Emblem games, and also fall into a particular character class, including Pegasus Knight, Conqueror, Sniper, General, etc. For sake of spoilers, I won't discuss the finer story points, but eventually things take a turn to weave in more Fire Emblem plots in an entertaining and thoughtful way. Map navigation features this Shibuya section of Tokyo as the main hub. You can walk around different sections of the district to find a couple of stores and a cafe, as well as some of the Idolosphere entrances. You will find NPCs that you can interact with, but most cannot, and those are shown as solid colors. As the game's 6 chapters progress, a few other smaller 1 or 2 screen areas also become available, featuring new Idolosphere dungeons. Most of the dungeons feature multiple levels and all have a mechanic which must be figured out in order to delve deeper, from staircase puzzles to a pretty fun room order navigation in the TV studio. There are items and abilities that can warp you out of the Idolosphere at any time and back to the Fortuna office. Enemy encounters occur by hitting one of 3 kinds of Mirage avatars. The red for standard enemies for that Idolosphere, purple for savage encounters featuring enemies that are level appropriate no matter which Idolosphere you're in, and the coveted orange, which begin battles with rare enemies that drop unique items. The red avatars can be struck by Itsuki's sword, halting their movement and giving the party a chance to get a first strike. The purple can be stunned, but they don't stop coming after you. And the rare orange avatars, they'll run away and disappear when they strike a wall. Tokyo Mirage Sessions has a lot of depth to its battle system. First of all, each of your eventual 7 party members has a character level and stage rank. Characters gain experience from winning battles and stage rank by actually participating in it. There are 4 kinds of physical damage and 6 elemental, and every character and enemy has strengths or weakness with each. So, while you're not tactically moving units around in Tokyo Mirage like a Fire Emblem game, focusing on whom attacking what when in this Shin Megami style turn-based system is important. Each turn you get the options of attacking, using an ability, using an item, guarding, or trying to escape. In battles, you have a party of 3 in combat, and once you obtain the appropriate number of members, you can sub them in and out at almost any time to bring in the appropriate characters for the situation. Your characters learn new abilities by equipping weapons and using them in battle, and each one has specific skills. Now, much like a Pokemon game though, you only have a specific number of ability slots, so you'll find yourself having to make some difficult decisions on how to grow each character so that you have a balanced team. You create new weapons by gathering drop Performa and parts of monsters, and then taking those ingredients to Tiki and the Bloom Palace. About halfway through the game, you acquire the ability to create upgraded versions of existing weapons to relearn abilities you may have passed on or deleted for the sake of others. In addition, most abilities can be learned more than once, either increasing their power or reducing the EP required to cast it. Command skills range from heals to elemental damage to physical damage to elementally imbued physical damage, as well as buffs and debuffs. Next we'll talk about session skills. One of the key elements to battle is setting up your heroes to perform chains of session abilities. Your main character Itsuki wields a sword, for example, and after using one of his sword command abilities on an enemy that has a weakness to sword damage, if you have Momori in the party with the Sword Glacier skill, she'll immediately follow Itsuki with an ice attack. Now, while this at first is limited to characters currently in battle, you can eventually have those in subcast chain in as well. Once your group learns some duo attacks, they will randomly trigger, allowing you to extend sessions even further, racking up some pretty serious damage. In addition, characters can also learn ad-lib abilities, which will randomly trigger when you choose an ability, doing more damage than normal. The final abilities are those accessed using SP. The SP bar at the top right of the screen fills up when your party takes actions, and enables characters to use 1 or 2 SP to unleash huge attacks with bonuses that will start sessions regardless of the targeted enemy's weakness. So your cast members can also learn passive abilities from weapon, which can increase resistances, damage output, or have other miscellaneous effects. The final type of ability is called a Radiant ability. Radiant abilities are unlocked for each character as they reach higher levels of the aforementioned stage rank. Fortunately, you don't have to choose which of these to take, as the game allows you to keep them all. And they offer things like additional ability slots, reduced EP costs for abilities, higher HP and EP limits, and resistance to status effects. Now, all of that said, the game does a great job with the learning curve. Not just unleashing all these things on you at once, but giving you pieces step by step. Another purpose for the stage rank is accessing cast member side quests. You can check the laptop in the office at any time to see who is ready for a side quest, or what objective must be met to make it so. Side quests sometimes just include running around to different cutscenes, but half the time have level recommendations and involve trips to the Idolosphere and killing a boss. Aside from a weapon slot, the only other battle beneficial slot is for accessories. These can be found in chests, earned as quest rewards, or purchased from the jewelry store. The accessories' main function is offering stat bonuses. There is a vanity slot as well, where you can purchase outfits from cutscenes and it will change your cast member's appearance while in battle. These can eventually be purchased for hefty sums from one of the shops. Now, one unique feature of Tokyo Mirage Sessions is the use of the Wii U gamepad for what they call Topic, an instant messaging system that functions much like modern-day cell phones. Through Topic, party members, as well as support characters, will send you messages. Topic is used to advance the story, discover side quest beginning locations, help you find objectives, and also generate filler and character conversations. Additionally, when you have all the items needed for a new weapon, you'll get a notification that it's ready to be constructed. The Wii U gamepad also has a mini-map, helping you keep dungeons and Tokyo straight, letting you know where doors, shops, and the game's other side content called requests are located. This is where things kind of get a little hard to track though, because I can never find a place that listed all the active requests. On top of that, some are repeatable, and with the constant back and forth through the same Idolospheres for quest content, it's easy to get confused and lose track. Now, if the side quests and requests aren't enough, there's also an arena side event where you can battle on 3 different difficulty levels to gain arena coins, which unlock prizes for specific amounts up to the top tier of 80 in each division. While I found myself wanting to do everything I could find in this world, the rewards for a lot of the side content was pretty disappointing, featuring mediocre accessories or clap tracks, a consumable item that raises the SP bar 1 full unit. A few of the non-party member side quests of Fortuna members do reward you with shop discounts and more inventory space though. If you are a full-on completionist though, there's a sort of achievement system called Play Records that can be earned and viewed on the shelf in the Fortuna office for things from completing side quests to raising character levels to specific heights. There is also a hard mode featured in the game that can be started right off the bat or utilized in the New Game Plus, allowing you to start the game again with skills and levels intact. One very tricky issue with combat in Tokyo Mirage though is when you lose momentum in battle. Turns are determined by round, and a bar at the top of the screen shows the turn order. If one of your cast members falls in battle, when they're revived, they won't get a chance to act until the following round. If 2 are down, the odds of getting them back up safely and winning a battle is pretty slim. This is felt the most intensely in boss fights, as most have an unending supply of minions they can summon, and enemies can perform sessions on you when they hit your weaknesses as well. It is pretty crazy how much difference a couple of character levels can make in turning the tides of a boss fight, where an hour of grinding can really help you devastate the boss. I only found myself having to do that probably 3 or so hours out of my 59-hour playthrough. So, gameplay aside, I honestly found myself interested in each of these characters. All of them had personality faults and lessons to learn on their path to stardom. This makes me feel like I need to play more Shin Megami Tensei games because their characterization has reached levels of interest that only companies like Square Enix used to accomplish. I'm not big on pop culture and pop music, but Atlus found a way to make me care about these 7 teenagers. We see parental abandonment, peer pressure, lessons on courage, and even themes of racial discrimination, So one of the characters is concerned with being popular in Japan while being a biracial, as they called her, from Japanese and Scandinavian parentage, which I still don't think could possibly end up genetically with a blue-eyed daughter, but whatever. It did make me stop and consider, though, how this could still be a pretty big issue in cultures that preserve their heritage so strongly. I think choosing not to do an English dub and instead leaving the Japanese voiceovers was a pretty good move, although from what I understand, the reasoning behind it was the extended time it would take for localization for re-recording the game's songs featured in its anime cutscenes with English singers. It feels like most developers have turned their back on the true AAA console JRPGs of yesteryear, so when we receive a title like Tokyo Mirage Sessions, I'm going to be there to support it. This scratched an itch that had been around for quite a while, and found myself enjoying the near 60-hour journey pretty thoroughly the entire time, with new features and upgrades rolling out as the game progressed. Now, if you're craving some modern-day RPG like I was and you have a Wii U, don't be too dismissive about the game's pop culture idle facade, as behind it is some in-depth modernized old-school gameplay that's definitely worth your time. Rated as a turn-based RPG, Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE lands at an 85 out of 100 on my true 1 to 100 scale. This is Jiro for Umber Games. Thanks for watching. All consoles, all genres, and all generations. Feel free to subscribe to the channel to stay updated on new reviews, or follow me on Twitter @UmberGames.